The man to our left led the league in touchdowns. He helped the Carolina Panthers win the NFC South, and, well, not me particularly, but you helped a lot of guys win their fantasy leagues this year. DeAngelo Williams joining us here on Countdown to Kickoff on Saturday, last day of Countdown to Kickoff here on CBSSports.com. And, DeAngelo, obviously this not the way that you or any of your teammates wanted to be in Tampa this year. But when you look back at the season, what do you take out of it?
Well, we know that we got the talent to get us to the playoffs. We just we got to step up our game a little bit more in the playoffs once we get there. It was my first time there, so it was quite an experience. It was an early exit for us, but we got something to build on next year, and we know what it takes to get back to where we want to be and ultimately win that or get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl ring.
Well, this Arizona defense forced a lot of turnovers from you guys and put a lot of, especially early on, a lot of pressure on you, on your offense. It put you in positions where you had to put the ball kind of in play. Can they do you think, the same thing to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It wasn't their defense that made us throw the ball. It was their offense that made us throw the ball. They have a really potent offense in Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden, although he didn't play that game. But Kurt Warner does a great job of reading defenses and picking up on the things that you do on defense as far as blitz packages and so forth and so on. But their offense put a lot of pressure on our offense, and it played right into the defensive hands with them dropping 8 and rushing 3, or them rushing 4 and dropping 7. And then they have some blitz packages that they do schematically to throw you off guard. But I think that their best defensive package that they have over there is their high scoring offense.
When you look at Larry Fitzgerald as a fellow offensive player, obviously you're on the sidelines when he's out there. What are the thoughts going through your head watching him play football?
Well, there's only 2 receivers that have the wow factor that I've seen thus far in person, and that's him when the ball's in the air and Steve Smith when the ball's in his hands. So I think those are 2 wide receivers that are playing at a high caliber this year. And Larry Fitzgerald is one of those guys that when the ball's in the air, everybody holds their breath, because he's going to be one of those guys that makes those wild catches. No matter where the ball is, no matter where Kurt throws it, if it's anywhere in his vicinity, he's going to snag the ball and come down with it while keeping two feet in play. So he's definitely a guy that once the ball goes in the air, that a lot of people know that he's 9 times out of 10 he's going to come down with the ball, and he's that guy that has the wow factor.
Hey, how big, if they've got a wow guy on defense, it's probably Adrian Wilson. How big of a factor do you anticipate him to be?
Well, he's going to be huge, because he comes down in the box and he's more of that linebacker safety prototype. He kind of puts me in the mindset of a Steve Atwater, kind of put me in the mindset of Sean Taylor. He kind of puts me in that mindset.
Brings the hammer pretty good.
Yes, he does bring the hammer pretty good, and I think they're gonna mix it up a little bit against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I mean, the Steelers have seen pretty much everything on defense this year, so I think they'll be well prepared. And I think it's gonna be a really close game. If it goes into if it starts to turn into a scoring fest, I think Arizona wins that.
DeAngelo, when you look at their defense and how it played the first time you guys met this year compared to how they're playing now coming into the Super Bowl, what is the biggest difference?
Well, we knew that they could score. That's something that I guess the league just woke up to because they went on that little slump there toward the end against New England, and they went down and they lost a couple games there like bad, and a lot of people counted the Cardinals out, and nobody gave them a chance, and there's still nobody to this day is giving them a chance.
Right.
And I for one have jumped on the bandwagon of giving them a chance because they beat us pretty good down in Carolina. But I think that they're going to come out and they're going to play hard. They're going to play tough, and this is going to be a really good game. Arizona's going to show up and play.
You see that combination of Hightower and James, when they do get things going their way, they really do have the ability, don't they, to kind of finish teams off when they start running, because they also have the ability to run early if they put their mind to it.
Well, this team honestly puts me in the mindset of the St. Louis Rams when they went to the Super Bowl that year, when they had Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce. They have the same caliber players that team had. And if you notice, the only mainstay or the difference is that Kurt Warner is in a different uniform. Right. So he's definitely been involved in this offense, and they spread you out and they do so many things. And what I really like about Arizona is that they force you to go to a dime coverage when they run the ball. So you have 2 linebackers in there and the extra corner, and you know that the linebackers and the the safety are better tacklers usually than the corners on the outside.
Take us into the game this Sunday. You're on the field. You're down 10-0 to the Arizona Cardinals. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. What are you seeing from that defense?
Well, you'd have to keep running the ball. You have to stay with your game plan because you can't get out of form. You can't let Ben drop back and continue to throw the ball because when you put the ball in there, you maximize your mistakes when the ball is in the air unless you're on target. And no disrespect to Ben, he's a great quarterback and he's gonna throw a lot of balls from years to come. I can't make that call there. And Willie Park is a great tailback. I say you stick with what got you there. They've had the ability to run the ball. Kimiatu and the guys up front did a great job of opening holes for him. And I think this, it gets a little sketchy for the Cardinals a little bit when you run the ball. If you're able to run the ball and open up the pass, you can't pass the ball on this Cardinals defense and expect to then run the ball. So you have to run the ball first and then pass the ball second.
All right, a lot of this has been positive about the Cardinals. Check out this segment on what the Steelers can actually expose about Arizona because this man and his Carolina Panthers, they did beat Arizona earlier this season. So we're going to talk about that here on another segment. It's Countdown to Kickoff here on CBSSports.com with DeAngelo Williams. Take care, folks.